guys, us here, Kevin. So today what we're going to talk about is 12 movies that we loved when we were kids. So we're just going to go down through the list right before we get ready to go to dinner. So, you want to start, Kev?
I shall. So, I remember a movie about the Apollo missions that we used to have on VHS. It was called The Right Stuff. And that's kind of what prompted this, was with your first one as well. That's kind of what prompted this whole thing. So, but yeah, The Right Stuff, movie about the Apollo missions. I just remember the wonderful acting, and that at the time I was in love with being an astronaut until I found out I had to have shots, and I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. Yeah,
he doesn't like needles.
So.
All right, my number one, which is the one that he was talking about, is Enemy Mine. I loved Enemy Mine. I saw a Dennis Quaid commercial on TV today about how he was so likable, and I'm like, he is a likable guy. And I was like, oh, that reminds me of the movie Enemy Mine. And he's like, what movie? I've never seen it. I'm like, really? You've never seen Enemy Mine? So I showed him the cover of it online, and he's like, oh, I thought that was a different movie.
I'm like, I thought that was The Last Starfighter.
Right.
So apparently I don't know what The Last Starfighter is. I'll have to look that one up too. So.
All right, so Kev, moving on to your next one.
All right, so my next two are kind of overlapping, but I'm just going to do the first one. But it's Superman, the movie. Christopher Reeves.
Margot Kidder.
Not
Not Himmer.
Right. But I just remember Gene Hackman being in it, playing Lex Luthor, and just blew my mind. You've got me. Who's got you?
Right.
It's just I was definitely a fan of the Justice League. So that was an opportunity for me to watch part of the Justice League.
Right.
Before it was the Justice League. So.
Gotcha. All right, my next one is Big Trouble in Little China. Kevin had never seen the movie before. I got to introduce him to it, and he's like, how have I not seen this 80s masterpiece? And I'm glad that I got to introduce you to it.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful movie. Just very...
I mean, the effect, there's a lot of practical effects.
But wonderful. So, all right, so part two of my number 2 and 3 overlapping is Supergirl. I remember going next door to the Hubers and watching it on, I can't think of the format of it, but it was a plastic disc that had all of the real film in it.
But you're talking about Laserdisc.
No, it wasn't a Laserdisc. It was actual real film in it.
Oh, and just like a reel or something.
Yeah, it wasn't Betamax, but it was the competitor. But yeah, Supergirl the movie. I remember I had a little kid crush on the girl that played Supergirl, and there was a witch in it.
Well, that's cool. All right, my next one was probably my favorite movie growing up when I was really little. Troop Beverly Hills. I love Shelley Long in it. There's a lot of other actors and actresses that you would be surprised that, show up in it. It was a comedy, and, it also had a good message behind it that, even if you think that you can't succeed, you might just succeed.
Just might surprise yourself.
Right?
I still remember watching Troop Beverly Hills with my sister. So, all right, my number 4 is Goonies. Goonies. Yes, I love the mystery, the puzzles, and I just wanted to wanted to live in Goonies, time and land, and
Well, you know what? We just need to go treasure hunting. We need to go treasure hunting.
Take a trip up to Astoria.
I think that's a great idea.
Be another one of those people that bother the people that own that house.
Right.
So.
No, we'll just drive by. We don't need to bother them. Kevin.
Okay.
Okay. My next one is like one of my all-time favorites when I was really little. Every time that I would stay over at my Aunt Jodie's house when she would babysit on the weekend, she would take me to the video store and I would rent The Chipmunk Adventure. And I love that movie still to this day. I waited for it to come out on DVD. It didn't come out on DVD until, the late aughts, noughties. I don't even know what to say when I have to describe what that
era was.
Yeah. It's weird because we can't call it the oddies, and the naughties just seems
Naughty.
naughty. All right,
So-
Kev, yours next.
All right. Number 5, Return of the Jedi.
It's a good one.
Previous video, I told you about my memory of going to see Return of the Jedi with the rainbow. But yeah, most definitely Return of the Jedi. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher is beautiful. Well, was beautiful. All right, my next one is a really old one. It's from 1954. It's called Desiree. They used to show it on Turner Classic Movies and American Movie Classics when I was in middle school. I absolutely loved the movie, and I know that he was in love with Josephine and everything, but it was but it was an interesting concept in the movie, and I hope one day that I get to share it with you.
It's in color.
Yeah, it is in
Okay.
color.
All right, so my next one, Star Trek Undiscovered Country. A movie that I read the book first while on vacation, I believe, down to Gatlinburg.
Mhm.
But yeah, I read the book first and then watched the movie, and it's probably my favorite Star
Okay.
Trek movie, just
Which
because
goes,
of that.
which actually goes with my next one,
Look at that one.
surprisingly. So that's kind of interesting. I actually saw the movie when I was in for everybody else it would be elementary school, but I was in middle school, and my dad would buy the movie passes for summer long, and before the matinees would start, you could go and watch the movies on your movie pass. So that was one of the ones that I saw with my grandma and my sister.
Which one?
Yours, the
Oh.
Undiscovered Country.
Oh, I thought you were moving on to yours. I just...
No.
Okay. So you watched it too?
Yeah.
That was awkward. I'm sorry. That was my bad.
Okay, so Star Trek Insurrection is the one that I was
That's what I thought you were
gonna be
talking
mentioning.
about.
So there we go. So the reason why I like Star Trek Insurrection is because it's not one of your stereotypical Star Trek movies. They travel to a planet where it's basically where they get to discover who they really are for a bit, and you get to know the characters a little bit better. And that's the reason why I like that Star Trek movie. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do. Okay.
All right.
All right, Kevin.
Next, I was known in inner circles as Indiana Best. My love of archaeology, my wish for being that professionally. It didn't happen, but Raiders of the Lost Ark started me on that path.
I think that's
Absolutely loved Harrison Ford in it. Just
yeah.
the story was amazing. It was adventure.
It's a good movie.
It was.
I know you don't like the second one that much.
No.
Which
no.
I do like the second
Eyeball
one, but I
soup.
told you why,
Eyeball soup.
But that's part of the reason why I liked it, is the shock factor.
Right.
All right, so moving on. My next one is True Lies. I loved the movie True Lies. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It has Jamie Lee Curtis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It has is it a young Eliza Dushku in it? I think it might be. I think it might be. But if you've never seen the movie, watch it. It's worth a watch.
Okay. So my next one is a Disney classic. Well, kind of. Flight of the Navigator. Going to sleep, or it was 4th of July, and he disappeared.
Yeah.
Comes back, his little brother is now older, and everyone's older. He's been gone forever, and he's just been traveling the universe.
It's kind of neat. It's an interesting idea.
Yes.
All right, my next one is Pillow Talk. I love Doris Day and Rock Hudson, and I love all of their movies, but my favorite one of them together is Pillow Talk. And Kev's like, I think I've seen that, and I'm like, I don't know if you have. I know that I've watched other Doris Day and Rock Hudson movies, but I don't know if you've ever watched Pillow Talk with me before.
No, they're all the same to me, honestly. I don't know.
Pillow Talk's the best, though. All right, your turn, Kev.
All right, so my next one, keeping with apparently a superhero theme, the original Batman with Jack Nicholson
And Michael Keaton.
and the bat plane that gets the front blown off of it. Jack Nicholson as Joker.
That was
That was a
fantastic.
really good
Before Heath Ledger,
Right.
did his phenomenal job of the Joker, there was Jack
And now
Nicholson.
Joaquin Phoenix is supposed to be being Joker in a standalone.
Interesting.
So,
I can see that. That
I
doesn't
could
seem
too.
like a
No.
terrible casting choice.
No.
All right. Okay, my next one is probably my all-time favorite movie. I'm not even gonna lie. The Sound of Music. I love it. Before I owned it, my next door neighbor was my grandmother's close friend had another lady that lived next door, and I was friends with their grandson. And I would come over whenever he was visiting, and we would watch The Sound of Music together, and it was amazing. And every time that I wanted to come over, I would force them to. And then eventually one year my grandma wised up and was like, here is your own copy of The Sound of Music. Listen to it over here. I'm pretty sure that Sharon's sick of watching it at this point. So you go ahead, Kev.
all right, I think this is number 10. Yeah, I believe
Yep.
it's our 10th
Yep.
one. So it's going to be Wally World, also known as National Lampoon's Vacation,
Yeah.
the original.
We've been talking about it here recently also.
Yeah, just amazing. Just everything about it was
Fantastic.
and John
Yeah.
Candy was in it too.
Yeah. Just a good movie all
Yep.
around. And also, of course, any of the other ones in that era, like Christmas Vacation, and of course, for me, heaven knows, like in the 90s, Vegas Vacation, which, go figure, we live in Vegas now,
Right.
and that was one of the ones that I really enjoyed, because it was so absurd.
yeah.
I won!
I won all the money.
I won all the money! I won!
That's Sid Caesar, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my love.
All right, my next one is Ladybugs. And I don't know if you guys remember this movie or not, but it had Rodney Dangerfield and Jonathan Brandis. God rest him. I was in love with Jonathan Brandis. I watched Sequest for him. I just thought that he was the
was a good
greatest
show.
ever. Yeah, and you know what? He has street cred because he started a movie with Chuck Norris. So I'm just saying.
Truthish. Truth talk.
All right, Kev, your turn.
My next one is another one of the few movies that, as a family, we went to watch. But I really remember this one. It was Santa Claus the movie. Not the Santa Claus. Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore.
Yeah.
And candy canes that exploded.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Santa Claus the movie. You know, I haven't watched that one in a while. Maybe this year we
I think we have that.
we
to
fire it up. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Because there's certain ones that we watch every year, like Elf, which
Like
we didn't
Elf.
put on the list because that didn't come out when we were young.
That's right.
So, all right. Or did you want to do that one?
It's your turn.
Okay. Wait. Okay. My next one is the Ten Commandments. And the reason why I loved the Ten Commandments, the Charlton Heston one, that was my favorite at Easter time growing up. I was allowed to stay up late, just like
So
Kevin
was I,
was allowed
yeah.
to stay up late, so that way you could actually finish the whole movie. And if you've never seen it, it's a wonderful biblical masterpiece, and you definitely should.
Yes, most definitely. And for me, last but not least, is probably my all-time favorite movie, but it's very dated now. Office Space.
PC Load Letter.
PC Load Letter. What the? Oh. Michael Bolton?
I love that there's actually like phrases that come from it, though. I'm going to go Office Space on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just gonna
Everybody
have to burn
knows
this
what that
down.
means.
I'm just going to have
Yep.
to burn it down.
My swing line stapler.
That's my stapler. I believe that's my
It is my swing line stapler.
Okay,
I like
guess
that
I'm just
stapler
gonna have to
because it
burn this
doesn't
thing
bind
down.
up.
Sorry.
All right, and my last movie growing up that I really loved was Space Camp. I loved Space Camp. I wanted to go to space. I really thought that this could possibly happen in my own mind. I was like, yeah, you know, I just got to go to Space Camp, and then we got to hijack a rocket to space. That makes perfect sense,
Perfect
you know?
sense, most definitely. That's the most 90s thing that you could do. 80s, 90s thing that you
Right,
could do
right.
at that time was steal a space shuttle.
Or have robots in your movie.
have a robot
Short
help you.
Circuit. We totally forgot about.
We did forget about Short Circuit 1 and 2. Johnny 5.
Right. All right. Well, guys, that has been 12 movies that we loved when we were growing up. We made the cutoff date up until we were 18. Maybe some other time we'll come back with some other movies. If you'd like to watch that, please click the like button. And if you'd like to subscribe, please subscribe. All right. We love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.